Good morning, everyone. Today is Vlogmas Day 12. Yes, 12, sorry. And as you can see, just for you, I decided to get into vintage drag. And I'm not even doing it full force, guys. I'm doing the makeup, I did the hair, I did the nails. I have a sweater on that, kind of a vintage style sweater, not actually true vintage. It's fine. But today I wanted to talk to you about my earring collection because I have a lot of earrings. So that is why I'm like this. And I thought you guys deserve, since I keep talking about vintage, but like every video I do, I'm coming straight from work and I'm wearing my bus driver stuff. You haven't ever really seen the full effect. So I did my nails. I did a very crappy manicure job. Pro note, do your nails during the day when it's sunny out. That's why those nail salons have those giant windows, is because it's so much easier to do. It is very overcast today in New Jersey, which is why I'm coming on so late. I was waiting for natural light, and apparently we're not getting any today. We're going to get a horrible rainstorm, so we're not getting any natural light. I'm just looking at my hair, sorry. So that is the reason that I'm coming on a little bit later. But I did my nails by lamplight, and it's a horrible thing to do. You can't really see well enough to not make a lot of mistakes. Anyway, so let's get right to it. So we are going to start with the very first pair of vintage earrings that I ever bought. And don't hate on me because these were clip, and I took them to a jeweler, and I got the post put on. Now, I don't know if you guys can see how fabulous these are, but I believe these were 1940s. My mom and my aunt, who are my source for all things 1940s before they passed, both were alive in the 1940s. My mother was a teenager in the 1940s. She was born in 1929. And my aunt, who was born in 1923, was a young wife, in fact, married to a soldier and working in I think a munitions plant during World War II. So this was my very first pair. And don't come at me, vintage community, for changing them from a clip to a post. The thing about vintage earrings is if you do get clip earrings, they're so incredibly uncomfortable that I don't see why it's such a problem to change them to a post, because then you'll actually wear them. I know a lot of people are purists. I'm not a purist, so whatever, get over it. Now, this next set of earrings, which are clip, by the way, belong to my grandmother. I know that they're 1950s. They're incredibly beautiful. They are 18 karat gold. She purchased these on a trip to Brazil to visit my Uncle Julian. My Uncle Julian is my family's French. We're Alsatian. We're from Longwy. And he was put into a Nazi concentration camp because he was a member of the Resistance. So after the war, he emigrated to Brazil. He had lost part of his stomach from being starved by the Nazis. After receiving treatment in the U.S., he moved to Brazil. He worked for a company that was a steel mill company. And my grandmother went to visit him, and she picked up this set. This also has a bracelet, and this is the brooch that matches. I think I'm going to do a bracelet and brooch video at some point in time because I have a lot of those also. But I figured I'd start with the earrings. Now these are clip. These are actually incredibly comfortable for clip earrings. I've never transferred these because they are so comfortable. I just always will also worry about losing them. So the funny story about her going to Brazil is during the First World War, her family went through the German occupation, and my grandmother was forced to learn German by the Germans, and they would beat the kids if they didn't speak German in class. And after the war was over, my grandfather made the decision to send all the women to the U.S., and they started in Buffalo, New York. And anyway, long story short, they ended up, my grandparents got married, so my grandmother is French and my grandfather is Italian, Di Martino and Balier. But when she went to Brazil, she said when she came back that she thought it was curious that there were so many Brazilians that spoke German, right? That's kind kind of a funny phrase when you think about it. All right, so also from Grandma Bellier, who we used to call Le Maire, are these earrings, which, again, these were not originally like this. Okay, these are a long story. When she was in Brazil, she picked up this absolutely stunning kind of folk arty bracelet. I don't know if you guys can really see how beautiful this is. They're semi-precious stones that were then polished, but they were kept more in their stone quality and not made into like smaller gems. And just absolutely gorgeous. But it was too big for my wrist because my grandmother was kind of a large woman, and I think she had gotten this made for herself. So I took 2 of the matching stones out of it, which are these beautiful smoky brown stones, and I had them made into dangly earrings in the 1980s for myself. I was lucky enough to know a real jeweler in the 1980s, like a real jeweler, like a guy that could fix watches and make jewelry, and he was able to modify a lot of my beautiful jewelry. So here I'm also going to show you, I have this beautiful set that unfortunately is antique, probably maybe even 1930s, but I can't actually wear them because they broke. So it's not an aquamarine, it's probably fake. And then they were put on this, which is unusual because look at it, it's a dangler, right? We don't see danglers from the 1930s. So I always thought that was very strange. Picked them up at an antique mart. I think they were kind of expensive at the time. This would have been like the very late, oops, see, and that just broke, so that sucks. Would have been the late 1980s, and they were about 15 bucks, which back in the day was expensive. But from just looking at this, you can see that it's antique. It's got some kind of writing on the back. It's completely tarnished silver, and I just love these, but I'm going to have to get them fixed. So they're going to go on that list. All right, so the rest of these earrings that I'm going to go over, most of them I acquired recently when I started to like miss vintage and get back into it, and most of them I got from a company called Redbird Vintage, and I highly recommend them. They're a monthly box. You tell them what era you want to get things from. You tell them what your favorite things are, and they send them to you in the mail. And they're fabulous. And in fact, a lot of the brooches I have are from them. Not all of them, but some of the brooches and some of the bracelets. So these are probably from the 1950s, but they're adorable. And you could really hop decades with these, you know. Whoops, sorry. Let's see if I can get that on my ear. There we go. So they're just a basic pearl clip earring. And I mean, look at them. Look how 40s they look with the hair, right? Like, totally. Really love them. And they're just faux pearl, but they're so fun. They also sent me these, and I love these, but these are the screwback. And as bad as the clips are, the screwbacks are the worst. So I'm just going to hold it on my ear rather than going through the whole process. But can you guys see the detail of this? Look how pretty that is. In fact, it would have been gorgeous with this outfit and it's like, this is the kind of thing I'm going to take to a jeweler, and I'm probably going to get it made into a post. So let me get you guys a close-up of the actual earring. It's kind of a scarab. Not exactly, but kind of. And I thought it was so beautiful, and I loved this lapis blue color. I'm sure these aren't real lapis. They kind of feel like plastic, but that's okay. And then they also sent me a bunch of these kind of earrings. And again, I'm not going to put these on because these are also screwbacks. These are, the funny thing about these is I don't think these are 1940s, but pictures of my mom, these are the kind of things that she used to wear in the 1940s. They were real delicate, and they're really small. Because my mom was a schoolgirl, she wouldn't have worn something like this. Now, my aunt, who was recently married, this would have been fine for her. But for my mom, who was a schoolgirl, I have great pictures of my mom in like dungarees and penny loafers. She would have worn earrings like these probably, or maybe like little pearl earrings. And her ears were not pierced, but my aunt's were, because back in the day, a lot of Italians, a lot of European immigrants pierced their kids' ears. It was kind of looked down on by like the white community, but they did it. All right, so, and this is a really fun pair that I got from Redbird. In fact, I requested these because they were so awesome. I thought they'd be so perfect for some kind of like Hawaiian shirt, tiki party thing. They're made of shells. And then the shells themselves, I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe you can see it on this one. The shells have like a little inlay in them. They're cute. I thought they were so cute. So I got them. They were, you know, the good thing about Redbird is if you have the, if you're already getting the box, they have all these add-ons on their page that you can go to, and most of them are like $5, so it's not, you're not killing yourself. And then here's the last, one of the last pairs, also from Redbird. Absolutely stunning. I love these. These are probably 1950, but I don't care. I think they're super glamorous for 40. And then these, I'm very sure are 1960, maybe late 50, but they're kind of brutalist. And I love them. Aren't they gorgeous? So guys, that's my earring collection. I'm gonna let you guys go here, and I'm gonna put Redbird's link down below. I'm not getting anything from them. In fact, I haven't had the box in like 6 months, but I'm telling you, go check them out, and I will see you in the next video, and stay well. Bye.